All right, guys, welcome to Rue's Reality. I forget what episode it is, but I got my boy over here. His name's also Shane. Shane, welcome, bro. Thanks for inviting me to your beautiful space here. If you guys don't know Shane, he's the owner of Peace and Power Yoga Studio here in Ashland, Ohio. It's a great vibe, to be honest. Shane, how you doing today, man?
Good.
Yeah. It's good to see you, man. Thanks for inviting me. I really appreciate it,
Glad
man.
to have you here.
So, man, let's start by, tell us a little bit about yourself, like your upbringing, who you are a little bit, what you do.
So when I graduated high school, I was always athletic and stuff. So I played football. I was captain of the football team, wrestled. When I got out of high school, kind of partied for a couple of months. Didn't know what I was going to do.
Where'd you party at? What would you do?
So my buddy's dad, he was a doctor, and when we were in high school, we always partied at his house. And his dad bought us a trailer at the trailer park when we graduated.
You saying that you partied a lot?
Yeah.
You saying that you partied a lot? There must have been some insane things that happened. If I ask you who are you, and you're like, yeah, and I partied for a couple months, there must have been something that was like insane.
Yeah. So when I graduated, I think at my graduation party, I got like $3,500, something like that.
Yeah.
And I worked full time, and I cooked through that by December. So my bank account was at zero. And I was like, man.
What were you spending it on? Was it yoga
just
classes?
Alcohol.
Oh.
I mean, just alcohol. And that's why I signed up for the Marines. I was like,
yeah,
I can't do this that much longer.
How old were you when you went to Marines? Was it 18?
Yeah. Yep. Actually, it would have been 19. So I would have signed up in November. November 30th is my birthday. So, and then I left for boot camp December 12th.
How was that? Was it Paris Island? Did you go to? How was that? How was that experience? Boot camp. What is it? 3 months?
Yeah.
90 days? Something like that?
Yep.
What was that like? So you went through the gas chamber, the height, all that stuff?
Yeah. Marine Corps boot camps, it's special. So I went with my best friend. His name's Cody Major. That was cool. But I don't know. You go in having these thoughts of how badass you are. They're not going to break me. The drill instructors are good at what they do. So looking back, it's really fun to look at some of the stuff, and like it's all funny now. But when you're in it, like you're ready to kill somebody.
So how do they break you down? Is it like it's mentally, right? Do they whoop your ass in there? Or what are they doing to break you down? And then they build you back up, right, as a Marine?
Yeah, physically they break you down. Lack of sleep, always yelling at you. You go in, like I can't do nothing right. Like they're not going to let me do nothing right. No matter what, they're going to say I'm wrong. Well, they're in your face screaming at you from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. It's different than what your bravado lets you think you are. So it was the best thing I've ever done. That was one of the few smart decisions I made in my young adult life. Was joining the Marine Corps School of Infantry, which is also in Jacksonville. And then a good friend from high school, Travis, he was down there getting ready to leave for our unit. We were in 325. We hadn't joined up with the unit because we hadn't finished SOI. He was leaving as a combat replacement to meet up with our deployment for 325. So when we graduated SOI, they said, get your stuff together, you're going. We never got the call, never did end up going. But when Travis come back, he was home for about a year or so when he committed suicide. So I remember getting that call, I don't know, 19 years old, 20 years old. Waking up in the middle of the night, had a bunch of missed calls, thinking my friends were, drunk down or whatever. And I remember reading the text, and it said Travis shot himself. I'm like, that's not even funny, guys.
Yeah.
Because I talked to him, and that's why so many people were calling me. I was the last person that talked to him. Talked to him that night about midnight. My grandpa They had called hospice in for my grandpa. We were supposed to ride up to drill the next day to do our stuff for the Marines, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going. Papaw's not doing well. And we played like soccer from kindergarten up. We were known each other all through elementary school and everything. And so he was like, dude, call me tomorrow. Let me know how you're doing. Everything. So I woke up to that text. I was like, yeah, right. Went upstairs, took a shower. My stepdad come in and he says, Papa just passed away. And it all hit me at once that both things were true.
So this was all the same day?
Yeah, within about an hour. So my grandpa and my best friend both passed.
So was this during your 4 years? Or was he also?
Yeah, so I was a reserve. We were reserves.
Okay, yeah.
So we were home. And we do the 1 weekend a month and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, it was during that, just right after a year and a half after SOI and stuff. So yeah, I was still 20, and when both things happened, and it was kind of a shock to the system. Right. And it was a big shock to the area. Travis was awesome. Everybody loved him. So we were all young and didn't know how to deal with it. And a lot of the adults didn't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
So a lot of us kids were just drinking, and the adults were feeding it to us. Not really getting the help that we needed. And
definitely a hard thing to process, what I mean?
Yeah, it was tough, and probably didn't process it right. We had a few more friends pretty rapidly after that did the same thing, and so it was rough.
Yeah. So that negative moment, that shock to the system, is there anything positive that came out of that moment, like for you, like how you went about life a different way or anything like that?
Yeah, a few things. So we'll go a little bit farther. I learned to deal with things the wrong way. And that's kind of where I found my alcoholism. So I'm extremely thankful for being an alcoholic. Now sober alcoholic, but I learned how to process things the wrong way. As I started to hit rock bottom, actually my last night of drinking, I was going to do the same. I had a gun in my mouth, and that was one of the last things that went through my head, that I can't do that. Can't do that to my family. I know what it's like to be one back, and it's hard. So it's one of the things that got me sober. So I was sitting there when I had my moment of clarity. I took the gun out of my mouth, and I had one more last pleading with God or a higher power, and was like, as cocky as this is, like, if you're real, you need to show me something, like, now. And he did. So I watched a lot of like sports videos, and you probably looked the clip up. I could find it and send it to you. But it was Josh Gordon when he was going through his stuff with the Browns. Yeah. Chris Carter was speaking on it. Chris Carter dealt with a lot of addiction, and all I could hear was him repeat, "This man needs help," probably like 10 times, and he was talking right to me. I called my dad that night, who was in the program of AA, and was like, "Where can we go to a meeting?" He's like, "I'll be there 8:00 in the morning." Yeah. He said, "You going to make it till 8:00 in the morning?" So I'm going to try, Yeah. I didn't know. So I did. I held through, made it till 8:00 in the morning. We went to a meeting. And I liked it. Went home. I went back to a meeting at noon, went back to a meeting at 8:00 at night. Wow. And for the next like 6 months to a year, I was at as many meetings as I could find. I was like scared to not be at a meeting because, left to my own devices, I knew where I would go, you know?
Right.
So, I really worked the program.
So how long did that take you to kind of really break free from that addiction?
That has a couple different ways. Um, I feel like that moment of clarity was a huge step. Yeah, I was kind of broke then, but I was scared and didn't know how to do it. AA kind of gave me that path, and I went through doing AA for a couple of months. When I found a sponsor, we started working the steps hard and thorough, and he really helped me a lot. We still talk a lot, but through the steps, I learned how to live a right life.
Right.
You know, do I do everything right? No. I still falter daily, but I don't have to drink about it. You know, and that has helped a lot. So never is there a time where I could turn my back on it. They say like your alcoholism's getting stronger as you're not drinking.
Yeah.
But I also know if I went back out drinking, I don't think Ashland's got enough beer to hold
There's only
down,
a couple bars.
So,
there's not too many places that are hot here. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
So you looks like you know, I do hear a lot of stories. Like I listen to a lot of podcasts. Like the Ed Milet show is amazing, but it's always entrepreneurs. It's always about entrepreneurs who had like a hard, you know, kind of situation coming back. It looks like you had it hard for potentially your entire life. You know what I'm saying? You've ended up turning it around into something really, really beautiful. You know, which is this yoga studio and what you do. Like, I mean, I went to one of your yoga classes and I was just in awe of the community. The how good it was for your body. I mean, you're sitting here. How much?
About 250.
250 of pure muscle. Like, is that from lifting weights or is that from yoga? So you know, it looks like you've turned it around pretty significantly, man.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that's helped me in entrepreneurship too. Is I won't cancel classes for the sole fact yoga. You have to get in it. You got to feel it to understand. But like when somebody needs it, like I want to be here for it. So when we first started, there was a lot of classes where we had one person signed up. A lot of other studios will cancel if there's less than 5 students. You know, I'm like, no. If there's one, we're teaching one. Yeah. You know, that person might need it. You know, we might be that saving grace where. You know, not to be egotistical about it, but I've had a student tell me, like, I was just trying to stay alive when I came. Yeah. And had we canceled that class,
right,
you know, she might not be here. So, like, that was huge in feeling like, okay, I'm doing something right. But knowing that we need to be here, you know, we held 4 classes on Thanksgiving.
Really? Thanksgiving Day?
Yeah. Dang. That all had people here too.
Wow.
And the one was sold out. It was packed. But I remember somebody looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, you're going to do a class on Thanksgiving, you know? I'm like, yeah. You know, like, you know, what about your family? Like, I went and did family stuff. I had time to do that and made sure I fit in my family stuff as well. I'm like, what about the people who don't have family? Or, you know, we have a lot of separated families, you know, where somebody's kids might be with the other parent and they're home alone on Thanksgiving. Like this, I want to give them something, you know? Yeah. So those trials and tribulations, those struggles, there's many nights that I left my family's house and went home, you know, in my alcoholism and even in early sobriety, like I had no friends. I had nobody that wanted to be around me. That's one of the things in early sobriety that's kind of wild too is you lose all your alcoholic friends. So they don't want to be around you because it makes them feel awkward too. I mean, I'm not saying they're wrong or that they're alcoholic. They'll come to that on their own, but they really feel awkward being around somebody who's not drinking. And so you lose those people that you thought would be there, and then you haven't built up any type of community of sober and healthy people either.
Right.
And then you're just trying to get through it. Stay sober by yourself.
Right.
But a lot of those nights are the nights that also form you. You know, you get to sit with yourself and realize how okay that really is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. When I first came in here, I was like, this studio is vastly different than every studio I've ever been. I've only been to a couple other ones, but they were pretty similar. This one was just different. What do you think makes this one so much, different than traditional yoga studios?
We're different. Well, I call us like the misfit toys. Yeah, we got a group of regulars, and they say it all the time, like, I could not fit in at one of the yoga studios, and I don't know, we're very welcoming, which I think most yoga studios think they are, and we're just kind of out there. We are who we are. We joke, we laugh, we have fun. Yeah, we just got good people, you know. The community is kind of like Field of Dreams. You build it, they will come.
Yeah.
And like we've had the right people coming.
Yeah.
And we all fit a little bit, and it's nice as the village grows. My yoga mentor said that a lot, was like, grow your village.
Right.
So as things happen, and I've looked a few times at, different buildings and stuff. Well, I got a realtor, I've got a dentist, I've got this person,
right, all
works,
these connections,
Then I'm like, hey, how do you go about this?
That's interesting.
It's nice when you have that village of people that are all willing to help, and that's the other thing that sobriety has given me, even the ability to ask for help.
Right.
And we've just got some awesome people. I can't say that enough.
So, you have you're very brandable. You have a very powerful, moving story. You have triumph. Do you see yourself taking this, this community and replicating it and growing this brand, or what's your thoughts on that for the future?
It's definitely an option. I don't want to close the option off. I really like what we have right now.
Right.
Too. So as far as like branching out, if the timing's right, I'll know. It would be, we've got 5 instructors here, and we've got 5 awesome instructors. There's other yoga studios that might have 15, 20. I feel like it's watered down a little bit. The people that are coming here know they're going to get an awesome class.
Yeah.
If they show up and I'm subbing in for somebody, they know it's going to be good. Or if somebody else is subbing in for me and they haven't taken from that person, they know it's going to be good, just because it's one of the things we're offering right now. So I do like the thought and the potential for growth, because I want to spread what we have. But I want to watch trying to do it too fast.
Right. You want to keep its authenticity.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So there's that give and take, and kind of how this has all happened is when it's right.
Yeah.
You'll know. It's that, following that invisible string.
Right.
It's pulling, but you don't want to pull too tight back, and you don't want to, you just got to be right there in the moment.
So I heard you mention that you haven't touched a weight in over 2 years. Is that true? Is the rumor true?
Yeah. I mean,
so what are like the health benefits of, like, because I went in your class and, man, it was difficult. Like, it was just enough. It was just the right amount of difficulty for me, like, to get a good workout in. And
I have some. I do some medicine ball workouts as well.
Mm.
So like that's considered weighted a little bit,
Yeah.
but for the most part, it's just all yoga. I know I haven't bench pressed in 2 years, anything like that. So as far as lifting goes, and not to downplay what anybody does, do what you love.
Mm.
For me, when you look at lifters and they've got braces on their knees, braces on their back, braces on their elbows,
Yeah.
and lifting all this weight, if you have to wear a brace, you probably shouldn't put that weight on.
Right.
Is my thoughts. As far as this, we can find the movements to hit the right muscles in the right muscle groups, while also hitting the tension.
Yeah.
A lot of us carry a lot of tension in our shoulders, our hips. The hips are always tight. That's one of the things that you see with a lot of newer yoga people is just not knowing how to even relax. So people, that's what the first thing you hear when you say, "Oh, I teach yoga." "Oh, I can't do yoga because I'm not flexible." Well, one, that's how you get flexible.
Yeah.
But two, sometimes it's not the flexibility; it's that they just can't decompress.
Right. Right.
And that's what we want to get you to. Too is like to that point of decompression. So, a lot of the classes that we offer here are hard. And we're going to burn it up, and then at the end you can completely decompress.
Right.
When you're an active body and you're one of those people that's always upended, like a type 1 personality, you need that. I need that personally, to be able to decompress and be in my mind and be in the moment.
Yeah.
Some of the harder poses I really enjoy because it's really hard to stand on your hands and think about the bills or
Yeah.
what Johnny said at work that pissed you off or whatever.
Yeah.
You can get into one of those poses and hold it and just let everything go and get back to being in the moment. There's also the breath work side of things that we have de-evolved as humans.
Yeah.
And we don't breathe right. A lot of people breathe through their mouth. I do. I have the sinusitis from the Marines, which makes it really hard to breathe through my nose, which we should actively do that a lot more.
So can you explain what that is and how you got that in the Marines?
Sinusitis?
Yeah.
They say through the burn pits,
burn
but
pits.
I'm just constantly clogged.
Yeah.
They have burn pits where we're burning trash or burning shit, So when you're going to the bathroom, you're going to the bathroom in a 55-gallon drum.
Right.
You pour diesel fuel on it, and then you burn it, and then you stir it. It's usually a job of punishment. You've usually done something fucked up if you're stirring shit, but so all of that we found is causing sinusitis and stuff. Some of it's all the dust over there as well. So it's really hard to breathe through my nose. When I really work breath work exercises and work them a lot, it can open it up a little bit, but I don't ever get full benefit. There's a great book by James Nestor. It's called Breathe. But it's all about how we've de-evolved as humans, as they softened food, as narrowed our palate, which also narrowed the navel cavity, which has made it harder to breathe as humans. If you look back in Egyptian times, they didn't have crooked teeth and stuff like that.
Dude, one of my buddies from, or I wouldn't say buddy, associate from high school, I see on his Instagram all the time. He's big on that with the chemicals in the food, obvious, but he takes it a step further. He eats raw meat only, and he drinks blood from animals. And he gets Amish raw milk, and he showed, he's like his own science experiment. He shows his bone structure, and it literally is changing, and he said his bones are getting thicker based on what he's eating. And he says he feels like this primal like feeling. Now, I don't know. He said he got like sick off the raw meat the first couple times, but then he's like, that's all I eat now. And it's just, it's kind of insane to watch his transformation. And he'll talk about like energetical shifts in like the metaphysical space,
Yeah.
that he can feel more because he's more in tune. It's fascinating. I'll show you after. This guy's insane. He's jacked as can be. Like it's kind of wild, but
Yeah.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, like Liver King. He had
Yeah.
a whole following going until he kind of got busted out.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, which some of that I think with balance is definitely right. You know, like they say, you shouldn't shop the middle of the grocery store.
Yeah,
that's all the man-made stuff.
I remember
stay on the edges of the fruits, the vegetables.
Yeah,
meat.
my mom, she fed me a couple times. It was and I really think like she ate it as a kid as well, so she made me it. It was raw meat and like mustard mixed together, and I ate it as a kid. And I felt fine. I am not promoting to go out and eat raw meat, but there is something there to think about.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
It's strange, you know.
Yeah,
but with the like the injuries and stuff you talked about with lifting and stuff, like I went to Massillon.
Mm-hmm.
The high school, big football school.
Yeah.
I played 2 years of college football as well. I was a linebacker for a long time, and I transitioned to kicker. But man, I'm 22 right now, and I can feel. I don't know if my technique was wrong or I was kind of ego lifting a little bit, but I am like my lower back hurts, my knee hurts, all this stuff hurts. The food on top of that doesn't really heal me either, you know. So it's very difficult. But when I went in your yoga class, I felt way better and I could actually move, and I was every stretch, like we would do like the sets of stretches. For example, just like touching the toes.
Mm-hmm.
Every single like stage of that, I was getting deeper and deeper and deeper. I never thought I could even like my forearms were touching the ground. I was so low, but it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, and with some of the lifting that we do, I'm guilty of it, like the ego lifting, but it's not really that practical.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
I really love squats. I mean, my legs are big, and they were always strong. I could always squat, you know, a ton. So throw more weight on, throw more weight on. You know, I squatted over 600 pounds when I was in high school. I had the record in our little weight room at Madison Comprehensive, and you know, thought I was really something. And
Madison Comprehensive.
Yeah, and then when I went to boot camp, none of my drill instructors asked me about my weightlifting record, so I was like, "Oh, big fish in a small pond, eh?" But it's not practical.
Yeah.
Well, you know, like that was the last time I had 600 pounds on my back.
Right.
And why would I ever, you know? And I'm all for lifting to get big.
Yeah.
But I think that we could take it to the extreme. If you want to lift, I would say keep the weights lower, higher reps, focus on quality squats, you know.
I want to be like that 90-year-old lady that can stretch and do yoga and is fine and can jump, you know, like that's what I'm trying to do, you know.
Yeah, that was so like my first yoga class, so embarrassing. So when I got sober, I was probably about a year or so, year and a half sober, and I remember I was running and lifting. My sponsor and I were talking, and I said something about like, "Oh, I was always naturally athletic," and he was like, "Well, don't you think that may be a gift or something that you could use, or maybe you're squandering or something like that?" I took it and ran. You know, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna run." I had a ton of good ideas, but I got back running, got back lifting, and I was like getting big. And I would lift, and then I'd jack my shoulder up, or my back would start hurting. You know, I got a lot of underlying things from the Marines anyhow. But and then I'd have to take like a month off, let my shoulders start to feel better again, and then I get back into it, do it again, and just wreck myself. And that's when my yoga journey started. I had a guy I worked with. He's like, "Well, why don't you try yoga?" You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh yeah." Yeah, so that's
Yeah, shut up, buddy.
yeah. You don't know me. And then later that night, I saw this girl on Facebook talking about just graduating YTT or something, or going to yoga teacher school. I'm like, all right, there's
So
two
your phone was
things.
listening to you.
Yeah, there's
So you
two
can
things.
thank the spying of the government
You
to
know,
your yoga.
well, it could have been that. And then later that night, I think it was on Joe Rogan or something,
Yeah.
and he was talking about yoga. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, 3 things in one day, say
Right.
yoga.
Yeah.
Let me give it a try just so I can get that off the board, you
Right.
know? So I texted the yoga place, and she asked me questions like, "Oh, are you fit?" Things like that. She's like, "Oh, I think you could do well in Corinna's class on Wednesday. It's a hot power class. Bring some water and a towel. It gets really hot, so you'll sweat or whatever." I'm like, whatever. I know everything, right?
Yeah.
So I show up, didn't bring water, didn't bring a towel, and got my ass kicked.
Really.
But right then I was like, there's holes in my fitness. I was running 5-6 miles, lifting, doing like a CrossFit style workout. I was benching over 400 pounds at that point, and I wanted to get double my body weight. I was weighing about 215 and benching 405. And so I started the yoga stuff a little bit, but I still would only use it to heal. So at the beginning, I would do it. My shoulder would start feeling better. Then I'd go back to my ways and back to lifting, back to running. I'd hurt myself again, go back to yoga. I'd heal up, go back to my ideas.
Yeah.
Put way too much on and just pushing through, and then, so I started dating a girl who was a yoga teacher, and I could talk a little bit, and we started talking, and she started talking about like the philosophy of yoga and stuff like that, and it's one of the ways that we really connected, because then I could talk about how it connected to like AA, and there's a lot of the same thought in both things. So we dated for a while. We went to some yoga classes together, and it was good. And then I wanted to learn more, and we had split up, and I was doing a lot of yoga at home. And I was like, I want to learn more. I want to learn more. So I looked up a place out in Worcester to go take some classes, and they just so happened to be starting their YTT like the next week. So I was like, oh, looky there. Signed up, $3,000. Here you go.
Yeah.
And went to YTT. I didn't want to teach yoga. I just wanted to know a little bit more. Got in, started learning yoga, started really feeling the benefits by going full on into yoga. And I'm like, man, I'd like to really share this now, So I started learning the principles of yoga, the theory, all the good stuff behind it. And was like, how do I share this? And a lot of the local studios don't really get into the philosophy behind it. And I wanted to, and I had this like thought in the back of my head, like, man, you could open your own place and you could offer that. And there's a lot missing on that side that people could really benefit from. And it was kind of one of those ideas that like came and gone. Like, you can't open a business. You have this, this, and this. What if it fails? All that good stuff. And so I kind of put it on the back burner, and it was just a thought. Then things started happening to make it very real. So I got my LLC just to be like an instructor. And when I did that, just a lot of things started happening where a guy showed up, wanted to buy my house, and which would give me the money to do something like this.
Yeah.
And one of my yoga mentors, Christine, she had us pull in the spirit cards or whatever.
Yeah.
And she pulled one, and it was like some Vision Quest and all about like you're on this journey and you really need to take hold and really need to do this and
Yeah.
blah blah blah. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
And I go by like a rule of three sometimes. That's like the three, um, so there was like two. I'm like, all right, what the heck? And then she had us pull another card like a week later in a different class. And like, as I'm churning it of like, can I do this? You know, I pulled this card and all it said was yes. And I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Now I'm doing this thing.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things though, like as things start happening, like, um, I'm very in the moment right now. And it's one of the few good things, like starting and running this business and, things fall into place as they should. Um, we, like I said, we have very few instructors. Um, and how it's worked out though is like one instructor has to take off, like they have family issues, whatever the case may be. I'm like, oh crap. Yeah, like that's a huge spot to fill when you only have 5 instructors. Another one calls the next day and fits right in. And like everything has just meshed and people are like, oh, you're doing so good. I'm like, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm getting lucky every chance I get.
Do you feel like you're on like a path that you're supposed to be on? Is that kind of how it feels? Yeah.
Yeah. So like yoga theory, we call it dharma, like when you're in your true state of being.
Right.
And when you're in that dharma, like there is like you have to be active, you have to do your part, of course. And then you also have to let the universe do its part. Yeah. So you're just like following and watching, and knowing when to make the right move. Yeah. And that's been something, I don't know. I don't want to say I'm good at. I don't know if I'm good yet or not. We'll see what the future holds. But
right.
you know, knowing when to sit back and sometimes that's one of the things I've been telling myself a lot lately. Is I'm like the jump in, I'm the doer. We're gonna make this happen however we do. And I gotta tell myself too, like sometimes the action is to wait.
Right.
Yeah. This is my action, and I'm actively waiting. So that's really, really hard one for me. But
you kind of got to meet the universe halfway through action. Like, you see a lot of like manifestation stuff online about, sitting there and just like, it's not just thinking about what you want and then trying to attract it to you, maybe a little bit, but it's also going out there and doing it, and I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've failed, like doing something that I thought I wanted to do and then ended up learning an incredible lesson from it. But this is what it looks like. This is what kind of entrepreneurship looks like. It's failure, success, failure. But you're going out there and failing so many times and learning so many lessons,
Yeah. Well, and then along with like Dharma, like don't we all wish we knew what we wanted to do when we were 10?
Right.
And could follow that path and just do what makes us happy. You don't really know though. Like me, I loved sports and athletics. And I remember in like 7th grade, I wanted to be a school teacher. I really wanted to teach. It didn't pan out for me. Like school wasn't really my thing. Like I was smart enough, but I just couldn't do school. But so I always wanted some fitness and I always wanted some teaching, but I never knew how that was going to work out. So you like stay the course and yeah, fail, but is it really failing when you, so I call it like when you make it to the top of the mountain to look out and realize you're on the wrong mountain.
Yeah.
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 You don't
tragic.
Yes. But it's not really a failure.
Right.
All right, at least we're not going back to that mountain and we're going to find the next one, but you can get there. So where like the confidence comes, like for me, like going in blind on owning a yoga studio, I knew nothing, but I'm confident I can make something happen.
Right.
And I got very good yoga teacher training. I've surrounded myself with some really good people, and I've got a lot of life experience. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
when it comes to before class, after class, um, that's where we've built up our best clientele. You know,
Right.
the class is wonderful, um, but it's getting to know people before and after,
Right.
and having those relationships that, you know, yeah, you can
Yeah.
really make something happen that way.
I know we're reaching kind of the end of our time here, but if there's one thing that you could say to somebody who might be struggling, somebody who is in a really dark time in their life and they want to keep going, what would you say to that person from where you are now to where you were?
Um, that age old, nothing changes if nothing changes. Um, there's a lot of self pity that we can get into. Me being one, like, man, this sucks. Why does this stuff keep happening to me? Um, when we can flip the script on that by like, what's the universe trying to show me? Um, I'm here to learn something, and the universe is going to try and show me. And if I don't learn that thing, they're going to show me again and
Yeah.
again and again.
That's the most
You
truest thing
know,
I've ever heard.
so you keep having the same problems. You're not learning your lesson, and as we get there, and you can take action in that too. With if we're just like, man, my karma sucks.
Mm.
Um, Karma is not sent as punishment
Yeah.
or sent to suck or not suck. Karma is sent to teach us something.
Yeah.
And as we keep that in mind, it's a lot easier for me. And sometimes it's stop like, hey, I know
Yeah.
you're trying to teach me something.
Yeah.
Just give me a break.
Right.
Give me some insight here, and your answer will come pretty quick.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you think
Um,
reality is structured that way on purpose for the purpose of learning in a way?
yeah.
That you think that's a large part of it?
Yeah. So I heard it explained like we have the human condition.
Mm.
Um, we're here to learn. Our souls are ever living, and we're here to teach our soul something. Like this is just like a paragraph in our soul's life. This
Mm.
body. So as we're here to learn something, so that soul could move on. Or maybe learn something that the soul encountered in a past life and heal that. Who knows? But yeah, as we shift the focus from me to like, what am I supposed to be learning here? What am I supposed to be taking from this? It's a really easy action, and if you can sit and chew on that and be honest with yourself for a little bit, your answer will come pretty quick.
Yeah.
And we can try to start fixing the things that we can work on.
Yeah.
Um,
Well said, man. Well said. You want to plug in any social media or anything like that real quick? Facebook, Instagram, things like that.
yeah, just Peace and Power Yoga. We're on Facebook, Instagram. Um, I'll get a TikTok going. Shane Hutcheson or SHutch99 on TikTok
Mm.
has a lot of our stuff, and a lot of our stuff's getting shared out on there. But yeah,
Awesome.
just,
All right, brother. Thank you, Shane. I appreciate it, man.
yep, yep.
Thank you, man.
Mm-hmm.